Hi, my name is Michelle Smith, and welcome to Back from the Past, where we bring famous people back from the past. Now, today, we have Miss Helen Keller. Now, Helen is blind and deaf, and she can't communicate with us, so I will be writing words in her hands. So, when were you born?
I was born June 27, 1880 in Tuscumbia, Alabama. I was diagnosed in February of 1882. I was only 19 months old, and I was diagnosed with scarlet fever, so I was blind. I became blind and deaf.
Well, I was talking to Annie earlier, and she says that your parents said to her that you used to scream.
Yeah. Since I can't hear myself, I would scream like all the time because I was scared. I didn't know what was going on. I couldn't see or hear.
So, a few months before you turned 7, Annie came to help?
Yeah, thankfully my parents notified her. She worked at the Perkins Institute for Blind and Deaf Children, so she heard my story and she knew my parents needed help, so she came.
So, when Annie came, you didn't really like her, did you?
No, she kept trying to get me to do things that I didn't want to do. Like she taught me how to speak Braille, but that took forever because I didn't know what all the symbols meant.
So, she used to write words into your hands so you would understand what's going on?
Yeah. When my first word that I ever said was doll, because I had a little doll that I loved to play with. So she spelled out doll in my hand, but at first I didn't know what she was talking about. Then she kept writing it over and over, and I finally understood that she was saying doll.
In May of 1888, Annie took you to the university to meet Michael Anagnos.
He had given me an invitation, and I knew that I needed to get help. I stayed there learning how to talk and to deal with my disabilities. I also met Mark Twain.
So there was a scandal in your life that I'd like to talk about.
Yes, on November 4th, in 1891, I mailed a story to Michael Anagnos, and it was called the Frost King. It was really cool because he loved it and he sent it in to be published. But actually, it was pretty close to another story called The Frost Fairies, which I didn't realize because apparently somebody had read it to me when I was little or showed it to me in Braille, and I hadn't remembered, so I thought I had came up with the story, but didn't.
And Michael was embarrassed, I've heard. So he actually took you to court, didn't he?
Yeah,
you were only 11.
They took me to court, and the author of The Frost Fairies was there. She forgave me, and but they still took me in and tried to call me for plagiarism.
So when you were 11, you left the institute in 1892.
Yeah, I left because I really wanted to start searching for a college to go to. Thankfully, Annie helped me out, and when I was 14, she put me in a pre-college in New York, so we moved there.
So, what kind of schools did you go to?
I went to schools such as Horace Mann School for the Deaf, Wright Humason School of the Deaf, the women's counterpart to Harvard University, Cambridge School for Young Ladies, and Radcliffe College. On June 28, 1904, I graduated from college. I worked as a journalist, activator, and educator, and I spoke in front of more than 25 countries. After I had visited many countries, I got to meet 2 more people, Alexander Graham Bell.
He invented the telephone.
And John F. Kennedy. He
was a president. Well, thanks for coming, Helen.
Thank you for having me.
Bye. This episode of Back from the Past was dedicated to Helen Keller, who died June 1st, 1968. She was 87, and she died in her sleep.
I played Helen Keller.
And I played Michelle Smith, the host.
She showed resilience by having purpose,
Initiative,
survivor,
flexibility,
faith,
and acceptance.
5 W's. Who? Helen Keller. Helen Adams Keller.
She learned how to read and write even though she was blind and deaf, and she became very successful.
Where and when? She showed resilience when she was little, and a teacher came to help her because at first she couldn't catch on very fast, so she got frustrated. But then she decided to keep trying, and she became very famous.
And we chose Helen Keller because we both had an interest in her, and we knew some about her, but we wanted to learn more.
How we relate. I relate to Helen Keller because I relate to Helen because she had to get over being blind and deaf, and I had to get over the fact that last year I didn't get the part I wanted in the school play. But I showed resilience and decided to try out again for the play, and I got a part I wanted.
I can relate to Helen Keller because last year I didn't get in the play.
I'm just going to use some of yours.
Okay, I didn't get in the play, well, because I didn't learn, because I needed to learn how to get over my nerves, but this year I tried out for the play and I got the part that I wanted with Ari. We're partners in the play.
We're like best friends.
Yeah, in the play.
In the play. So that's how we relate.
That's how we relate.
Some famous quotes.
Some quotes that she has that we thought were interesting. My favorite quote, personally, is from her is, "Walking with a friend in the dark is better than walking alone in the light."
This is my personal favorite quote. "Death is no more than a passing from one room to another. But there's a difference for me, because in that room I shall be able to see."